Ever wonder what kind of paints you can use for your crepe paper flowers? I have all the answers for you in this video. The first one is Soft Pastel from Pan Pastel. If you're looking for a gradient look or ombre look to your petals or flowers, this is a great option. To use, you would have to use this applicators, which can be this sponge that comes with different shapes, or this applicator tool where you would need to get this tiny spongy to put on top, and you can change it after every use. It also comes with different shapes as well, so try whatever works for you the best. Another way to use it, although I don't really recommend it, is the regular paintbrush, because it doesn't really grab the pigment as well as the two applicators. It really doesn't really design for this kind of soft pastel. But say if you want to try it out and then you have this paintbrush laying around your house, then I would say to give it a try. For example, I have my bestseller Magenta Peony. I use the small applicator to paint each petals in magenta, of course, and it worked really well with 90-gram Italian crepe paper in light pink. Next is watercolor. This is the easiest and the most forgiving technique that you can start from. One thing to remember is to never use too much water. For watercolor, you can either use the palette just like what I have here or this E. coli watercolor base marker. And yes, I've already linked all the products below. Now let me show you how I usually color my project. Take this leaf that I made out of 90-gram Italian crepe. You can use this Pentel squeeze brush if you had it laying around, but for today I'm going to use the regular brush because I have more control of how much water I want to mix in. One other thing I really like about watercolor is, yes, it's very forgiving, but I can also mix the color together. Say that right now I'm applying this shade of green, maybe the next one I'm probably gonna add the lighter green, and I can mix in some like brownish as well. So play around with it. If you have an extra leaf, try one first and then see what color combination works best for you. Here I've added more detail to this leaf, which I have the free tutorial for those who sign up for my paper flower workshop. You get to learn how to make 3 different types of foliages, and you can create your own bouquet or arrangement with that. Now I'm gonna switch over to this squeeze pen just so you can see how that works. I only use this pen when I want to smudge the color around, and since this is a very light paper, you can see that the paper starts to crinkle a little, so you would have to be very careful here. Okay, I think I'm good with this one. I'm just gonna let it dry and work on other leaves. Next one is spray paint. I didn't start using these until I moved to a place with an outdoor area. I always wear a mask and spray them in a well-ventilated place. Spray paint is fast. I often use them in a large project or a hydrangea's petals. You can spray more than one color onto the flower, but you want to make sure to leave the flower outside for about 10 to 15 minutes to air the smell out before taking them back into your house. The fourth one is alcohol ink. To be completely honest, this is not my favorite, but I know that other paper florists out there love them. The chemical smell is very strong, so please have your window open or wear a mask while you're using it. What I like about alcohol ink is it's easy to apply. If I have flowers, I want to highlight some cutting details, just like this parrot tulip, for example. I would dab some of the alcohol ink with the direction of the grain. If this is a quick project, I would recommend this for you, but if you have to do it in a large amount, I would stick to spray paint or watercolor paint instead. Lastly, my current favorite way to paint the flowers for 2023, acrylic. This is when I was searching for a prominent pigment for my orchid lips, which had me started to explore other options than the ones I've already tried. I love the pigment from acrylic and the fact that I don't need that much water, so it really aligned with our limitation of using it on the crepe paper. To test which color to go for, you want to test with scrap paper, just like the one I just did. I also have this chart to decide if I want to use acrylic, watercolor, or other type of paint for my certain project. Here is a quick review of how I add more detail onto this Cymbidium orchid. You can see that I use very little to no water and paint directly to the flower. And you can see the pigment is fairly clear. Even this pink is dark, and I use a darker pink to intensify the color a little bit. Now you might be wondering, but how do I know what to use? I would suggest to take scrap paper that you are going to use for your project or a similar one to test not only the tools but also the tools onto the paper as well, if you know what I mean. So you want to test out this pigment if it's the look you want, see if the effect is damaging the paper, and then go from there. For example, I am testing out this 160 gram orange with a darker brown, and I don't really like how it looks with the watercolor pen, so I'm gonna try to use this squeezing pen to see if the smudge is the effect I want. The answer, no, I don't like it. So this is easy fix. Instead of, making the whole flower and then you would have to, and you don't like the color, okay? Same thing with this red over here. I want to test it out onto a different shade of purple. Say if I want to create another orchid and see if this is a color combination I want to go for. And that's it, people. I hope you find this video helpful to decide which paint do you want to use for your paper flowers. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts or other tools I should try. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit subscribe and like this video so I can create more videos like this for you. That's it for today. I'll catch you later. Bye!